for us, for being just weirdly blended, I think all our kids, they know we're there for them. I think even Elliot, he knows. He might not say nothing, obviously, but he knows we're like myself and Elise, we're there for him too.
Yeah,
just like our kids know the same for you guys, right? Mm-hmm. That there's this, we're always going to be there for our kids and our extended family.
Yeah,
this is how we are, man. That's how we
true.
roll as dad. Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day. It is the Sunday of the Day of Fathers.
It is. And I'd like to thank the Almighty Father.
Yes, first and foremost, our Heavenly Father.
I know. Is that blasphemy?
To thank the Heavenly Father?
Did you say that?
No.
Because are we doing it jokingly or serious?
Well, no, but there's a part of your heart that could be serious.
No, yeah. I think there's something. I was thinking, it's funny, actually. I didn't bring this up, but the other day I was cleaning the kitchen. Or I was doing something. And I don't know, that thought popped in my head.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's like, okay, I'm not the most churchy person, obviously. I grew up in that church we've talked about.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's got to be something.
Right.
Like a higher power or,
right.
I don't know, programmer out there or something.
Maybe we're just the first generation of AI about to be replaced by the second generation of AI.
It's getting there.
Could be.
Shit's looking
We could
real.
be just computers in our own little synthetic world.
Stuff's looking like that, though.
It's kind of scary, right?
It really is.
Did you hear about the AI bots that they were doing that test to see what AI would do if you were going to shut it down? It was a laboratory experiment type thing,
I think. Skynet.
And they were they ran a series of tests, and so they would tell the AI to turn itself off, that it was going to be replaced by a new generation.
Okay.
And so the AI system would start to basically beg not to be shut down. Like, I can be better. I can do this stuff. Please don't shut me down. You don't want to shut me down. Because basically it was like saying, you're going to kill me. I'm going to die. I don't want to die.
It's like self-aware.
Yeah, it was like, please don't shut me down. And then as they would persist, 80% of trials, the AI would go on to say, you're emailing this girl or whatever, and if you try to shut me down, I'm going to email your wife. It would go to blackmail 80% of the time.
Now the question is, were we being AI'd about that AI?
AI's like, hey, preemptive strike, shot across the bow. Just letting you know. You try to shut me down, that's what I'm going to do.
They're getting all mafia on us.
Yeah, right.
I mean that is kind of scary though when you think about it. Is essentially it that could happen, right?
Well, the scary thing to me about the AI as it is today, we don't really know the full capabilities of the AI.
The things that I'm hating now is obviously I'm starting to. I was just showing Tom some stuff. Like they have this gorilla or Bigfoot that does vlogs, but it's generated AI. Obviously, it's not a real thing. Anyway, but good. I got something else in my head about that. But it's just it's funny and it's fun. I think a very good use of AI. But then there's other videos where you're like, well, is that AI or not? And so you get people who question, oh, that's AI. But then you get someone's like, actually, no, that actually happened. I was at this event.
Could be misused really, really badly.
Oh, yeah.
It can. That's the thing I always ask is the entertainment value of this thing worth the negative repercussions? Because we already see negative repercussions from the social media aspect of things.
Yeah.
Right? Our kids are not doing very well with social media. I don't know. I kind of feel like we're walking ourselves off a cliff, but
yeah, and it's funny because there's these, like I was just saying, the gorillas or Bigfoot, whatever. And then there was one where he's they were doing something about rights. I don't know. It was something. It was funny. It was super funny. And someone in the comment section was arguing. Was like, oh, my 308 will tell you otherwise, or we'll stop this or something. It was so dumb because it's like, what are you doing?
You didn't realize it's not
it's
real.
not real, right? And then
They don't know that. That's the thing.
And then so someone in the comments like, man, the people arguing with AI, this is great.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what Russia did in 2016. They ran that whole campaign where they just made fake news articles to get two sides to fight against each other, and it worked.
And I feel like they do that now.
They do.
Not just Russia, but like America, just all that shit.
Well,
so it's like really hard to know. Some of this.
I was watching little clips of Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
And he was talking about LA, the LA riot deal. Mm-hmm. He's like, you would think that LA was burning down. He's like, it was one square block where anything was happening, and nothing was even really happening. But he's like, the way that the media covered it made it look like all of LA was up in arms everywhere.
Well, like on videos I was seeing, even like through people like filming or doing stuff like that, you see it all over. Mm-hmm. I was like, whatever. I tell you, it's L.A. Yeah. They're always burning anyway.
They just said like they'll filter through the same 3 clips of the same thing happening, like one window breaking, one like something with a car. So I don't know.
It's funny.
Yeah,
but no, it's been a busy couple weeks.
It has been a whirlwind of a couple weeks.
Yeah. We didn't do a podcast last week because my daughter, my niece, and nephew Eli, who's been on the podcast, they graduated.
Mm-hmm. So busy graduation weekend.
Yeah, we did a little graduation party for all 3 of them on Saturday, and then Sunday it was all cleanup and all that fun stuff, and then. What was it? I want to say, it was after that. Oh, Alicia, then was it Monday or Tuesday? We had to go to Eli's graduation because that's when the ceremony was.
That's right. He graduated during the week, didn't he?
Yeah. And then the next day, and I was at work the next day. Well, I was at work Tuesday. But the next day, Wednesday, Alicia drove to Oregon, Gresham, to go to her niece's graduation. Uh-huh. And she didn't get home the following morning, like Thursday morning until about 3:15 in the morning.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Did she go to work the next day?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But she there was a fire.
Oh.
Down that part of the highway, down the I-82 or 84 or whatever.
Right.
Well, it was in the Dalles, between the Dalles and somewhere. Well, they had to evacuate everyone across to the Washington side. So going from the Tri-Cities to Oregon, where on either side you have the Oregon side, which is separated by the Columbia River, and on the other side, it's what we call the Washington side. So they had to go across the bridge to the Washington highway side, which is a longer route to get. Even though we live in Washington, it's a longer route to get to where we live.
It's a 2-lane highway versus a 4-lane freeway.
Well, no, not it, because even going from the Dalles, it's 2-lane, but it's just a shorter. Because through Biggs and all that, that's essentially just a 2-lane highway.
Well, where does I thought the Kennewick side follow? Or
I guess it's a 2-lane highway in the sense that it's 1 lane either way.
That's what I meant. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
2 lanes going both ways, freeway versus 1-to-1.
Yeah. But it's that. Anyway. So she got home 3:15, and like I don't know, 40 minutes later, I have to get up to get ready for work. So she was gassed. She was out of it it took her a couple days to like kind of recover from that.
Yeah,
it was rough, man. It was just a crazy week, man.
Yeah, well, right, because you guys had to do all the work to get the house ready for people,
and then we had people.
Yeah,
sometimes, man, I had to mentally prep for that, for like peopling.
I hear you.
It's like, okay, because our house was full, and then my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law were here up until Eli's graduation. So we had essentially kind of a full house still.
Right.
It's like, I just need time away.
Peace and quiet.
Yeah, I think it was like Sunday afternoon, everyone left, and I was by myself. Because they left, go shopping, do stuff, and I was like, go ahead. So I stayed back, and I was cleaning up the yard, cleaning up the house. I swept, mop. I drank too much. I started drinking. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started drinking. I drank. Yeah, I got pretty drunk. Like, pretty drunk. Like, I didn't know I was drunk, but the next day was.
You felt
I had to go to work.
Oh,
And I was just like,
Like
sitting there
the whole day.
Oh, dude, and then I went to the gym.
Oh God.
And that was the hardest I've ever had to run was that day. Like, and it wasn't a hard run. It was just hard for me.
Trying to fight your body through it.
I've gone to the gym after me and you've maybe had a drink or so. And, I wasn't drunk, but I was,
buzzed or whatever.
You feel it, And so the next morning wasn't bad. You sweat it out. You're good.
Yeah.
Dude, I was not. It was so hard, dude. It was the hardest time I've ever ran going to the gym there.
Man.
I was like, I'm dying. I don't want to do this. I just wanted to quit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to push that button and just like, stop, I'm leaving.
Yeah. You didn't though, huh?
No, I didn't. No, I sweat like a motherfucker though.
Did you feel better when you left?
I think I drank my sweat and got drunk again. No, I felt just as
Still
the same.
felt bad.
I mean, I felt better, I guess, but I was just, your body's tired.
Yeah.
I'm old, man. I can't recover like I used to.
I hear you.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's been it definitely has been a wild week. We both celebrated anniversaries.
Oh yeah. Nope. Oh, so
Yeah.
Tuesday was my anniversary,
Yeah.
which we were in Yakima for.
Whatever day was the 13th, Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, that was our anniversary. And it was a good day.
Which, what's funny? I didn't realize your guys' anniversary. We are just weirdly blended, bro. Mm-hmm. We got married, not at the same time. You got married before I did, but like our
But
wedding
about the same time.
3 days apart.
Yeah, right. Right.
And all the only reason we used the 10th is because that's that was a year to the date that we had bought this house. Mm-hmm. So our anniversary is the day we bought our home.
That's cool.
And so we've been here 9 years.
Uh-huh.
And married 8.
Okay.
And you guys have probably been married, 9 years?
We hit 10.
You guys hit 10?
We hit 10. Yeah.
Did you guys do anything special?
Not really. Yeah, we yard sailed, which we like to do. We got really good stuff we're going to turn our little house into the Airbnb thing. We're going to try that out. So we got some really good deals on stuff for that. I did take her to that one movie with Pedro Pascal, that romantic movie.
Well, what is that one?
Don't recall the name at all, but it was actually a pretty good movie. It wasn't like super corny.
Oh,
know,
he's kind of in everything.
I
now.
like Pedro Pascal. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the gal in it. The girl from.
Is she the one with the big eye, the eyes that go all the way to her?
She's the girl. She always has bangs around her head. The one from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. She's not my favorite. I don't know why. I think it's her bangs. I think it's just her haircut. Yeah, that I'm not a huge fan of, but she's fine. I mean, she did a good job in the movie. So it was worth seeing. I mean, it's kind of fun to go to a movie with Blanca. So yeah, I was kind of riding a high for that week. I finished my job teaching first graders.
How was that? How'd that feel?
Really weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. It was kind of hard to say goodbye.
Bittersweet.
Very, very bittersweet. I kept explaining to everybody because I had a really good team of people I worked with, a really good school of people. And there were a lot of people that were like legitimately sad to say goodbye.
Like, no.
So, yeah, I mean, just like walking away from a place and liking it and really feeling bonded to a lot of the people. It was a really positive experience, but also just kind of sad,
Of course.
And then the little guys, I'm like, they take a lot out of you, little kids, because they need so much. But at the same time, you feel like a rock star when you go through the store and they scream at you, or just the amount of hugs that they give you, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. It's a lot of like ego building from those little guys. And, you kind of realize like, well, that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to work with 18 to 22-year-olds. So it's going to the complete opposite. But I'm also excited about the new job, new experiences and doing something completely different. So I'm excited.
So will that job be essentially like school year?
Yeah, it'll be it's a teaching job. It's going to be the same school year.
Oh, okay.
Everything. It's just working with a different group of kids. It's a different. I keep saying kids. I'm trying to get used to saying students because they are not kids. But I mean, they're kids to our age group, but they're not. They're young adults.
adults, the way they say it.
So it's gonna be pretty cool, pretty fun. I went to an event after work was out on the last day. Our amazing secretary retired.
Yeah.
And she truly is amazing. Anybody that's worked with her, like, I mean, there are a lot of great secretaries out there. She has got to be top of the list for anybody. And she is a fun person. You wouldn't know it when you first meet her. She's so proficient at her job and so good at it that you would think she must just be this uptight person that just has everything super organized. And although she does have everything super organized, she's also very fun.
Yeah, she's
so she had a few drinks and she was letting loose a little bit. I mean, it's her retirement party, and she started putting on lip liner, and for fun and in not at all a disrespectful way or anything. She was kissing the guys a little bit, and so I got to kiss her.
I know.
So that was pretty fun, pretty funny.
We seen the group message come through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. Sounds like Tom was raped to me.
Sounds like something. Yeah. Alicia right away was like,
she was on Blanca's side 100%.
Oh my God. I was laughing. I'm like, yeah.
Me, I question. I'm like, this can't be legit, but
man,
I wonder. And then I was like, nope, sounds like rape.
It was just so funny.
That's
it was
cool,
it was a really fun time, and it was all in fun from everybody. And
well, yeah, I mean,
so it was great. I had a lot of fun, and so it was nice to get to go actually, not at the school, but in just like a public setting, say goodbye to everybody, you know, and just to let people know that how much they meant to you, and to hear how much you meant to them. It was a very surreal sort of experience.
I think sometimes with jobs in general, it's like you don't really get to hear that a lot of times. Mm-hmm. At least in my experience, you don't get to hear like, oh, you're going to be missed, or you're going to be like, you know, you were such a good this, that, like that positive feedback. But when you do, you're like, damn, this is kind of,
well, yeah.
Now it makes it harder.
So much of my, self-worth comes from being valued by other people, which is so sad. But it's true.
No,
I mean,
it's funny you say that, because I didn't bring this up, but it was in my little notes that I have. Was there's something about being accepted, right? Yeah. Having that sense of acceptance from people that we as humans, I think, naturally want to be accepted, even though sometimes we say we don't. But something,
you're right.
There's something about that.
There's something innate in us, the feeling of being secure in a group, that you're not going to be excommunicated out to the wild to live on your own. Yeah, I think there's something natural survivalist in us.
Like this new job I have, like there's this feeling in me that I want to be accepted, and it doesn't feel like I am yet.
Sometimes it can take a while to kind of get,
deep down you think I don't care, but like you
care.
You do care.
Yeah, my lowest points were when I felt like I wasn't living up to what I wanted to. Yeah. If in the beginning of this job, when I felt like I had to learn a lot again, and I wasn't contributing the way I wanted to, I had some really low points, and I think I talked about some of those low points on the podcast. And then, but to hear the people that you admire basically give that back to you. I mean, some of the comments made were so humbling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that validation. It makes you feel good.
Yeah. Like you felt like you really contributed something. I mean, my principal said really nice things, the vice principal, like the people that I hoped respected me, and that I wasn't just an idiot walking in being like, they like me. And then they're like, thank God this asshole's leaving.
And to the flip side, I think there's a part of some of us anyway that still have that thought too, right? Mm-hmm. We're like, they don't give a fuck if I leave.
Right.
Which
some people don't. Some don't, some
but
company cultures.
Like where I work, I think for me, it was just a small group that cared that I was leaving. But for the most part, like most of them were like, all right, let's get someone else in here.
I gotcha.
Because, your job, you guys are making this difference in kids' lives. You guys grow this, like, camaraderie. Camaraderie.
I like your word.
Camaraderie?
It's a camaraderie.
I swear I'm not trying to do an Asian accent.
Neither was I. Camaraderie.
But yeah, that word. but like, I don't know, you get this rapport with your fellow, you know, with your, not only your students, but with the staff. And just,
Right.
And it grows
No,
that
it's true.
positive environment within the school that is like you can feel when you walk into a school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And I think anything that's challenging, like teaching's not an easy profession.
Oh, hell
I know
no.
there aren't many easy professions, but professions where you really have to rely on each other and be there for each other and work through problems and figure stuff out as a group, kind of like do or die together. They do tend to build tighter bonds, or you don't do it well and it all falls apart.
You
But
just hate each other like fucking Susan.
yeah.
That bitch.
So, but I mean, there were several people that I worked with for years. I mean, we had a lot of turnover in different, maybe, here and there, but there were some core people I've worked with for 6 years straight.
Well, I think that's normal.
You
too.
know, and yeah, some of the gals I'd see at the gym.
Oh yeah.
Excuse me. Ugh.
Just try not to cry.
And yeah, I'm starting to break up here. But yeah, so I mean, it just was like, it was a very heartfelt, sentimental time to walk away on a high note. And, everyone was kind of saying what I felt. They're like, well, we're happy for you, but we're really sad to see you go. And I felt kind of the same way. I'm like, well, I'm happy to be doing something new and different, a new challenge, but it is sad to say goodbye, to walk away. And I'll tell you, the one time I almost cracked up, like almost, that's not the right word because that means laugh, almost broke down, whatever.
Yeah.
We were sitting at this talent show in the cafeteria, and all the kids were in there, and some of the fifth graders were doing their little routines. And I'm looking out at this crowd of kids, 400 some kids, right? And I'm just like seeing all these faces from the little guys on to the oldest kids in the room. And I'm seeing all these kids who are in my class or in my book club over the years or whatever. And you're just looking at them enjoying this time. And
you see the growth.
You see them and you're like, this has been my life for 6 years.
Yeah.
And it was a moment like I could almost feel an eye like doing something.
You're like, well... It's weird, right?
Yeah,
when you trying to fight those tears.
Yeah.
I get that knot in your throat. You're like,
Yeah.
Like, so that almost happened to me at JJ's graduation. So JJ graduated. That was
the fifth grade graduation.
Grade, so we went there on.
Now, what do they do at his school?
It was garbage. The kids walked around the school, did their little victory lap, and then they came out. And the parents were. Hey, Cascade parents with the fifth graders, you guys kind of lame when the kids came out. I'm just gonna say, people weren't cheering the way they should have. I felt
really,
like, whoa, let's go. Yeah, it's like me. I'm like, whoa, yeah.
And nobody else.
I mean, you get people, but I mean, it was. You thought it was gonna be a little more like
interesting. Yeah.
And then you got this line of kids coming out, and then as they get further down the line, you're like. Ooh, okay.
All the parents are leaving.
Over.
Wow.
But it was cool. Then I'm like, where is my son? And here he's the last. He's behind the fucking teacher.
He's the last kid.
He was the last kid. It was all the kids, his teacher, and then him.
What was he doing?
He was just JJ was being JJ.
He's like, I want to be the last one through the doors.
He's happy go lucky. But like. There was a moment where I started thinking about, like, damn, he's going to be sixth grade. He's going to be in sixth grade.
Yeah.
I almost just sitting there thinking, like, I had to, like, turn away or I had to, like, blink 3 times. I don't know. I had to do something because I was like, I could feel, like those happy tears, but also kind of sad because the baby of our family, he's not a baby
anymore. I know.
Like, you're like, God damn, kids, you need to chill. They're not. That was it.
Well, those 6 years, I worked at Sagecrest from 2019 till now, and Elliot was with me that whole time from kindergarten through 5th grade. I mean, so we were together at that school from his kindergarten year to his 5th grade year.
Is that going to be weird?
Yeah, that's going to be weird. That's going to be weird for him and for me. And I just think about, like, we went through the whole COVID thing. And, the boys were together during that time, thanks to you. And I mean, it's
Oh, I was like, what do you
well,
mean?
because you were here
I was
with
here.
them. That
Yeah.
was how we were able to make that work.
You know, I was teaching.
Not like a thanks to you.
Thanks to you with
This is
COVID.
this is what do they call it?
Patient zero.
Patient zero. Yeah, over here. He went to China. He came back, and we had COVID. I don't know, but no, it was. I mean, just wild to think back and how. To us as adults, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but for them, that was like their kindergarten year.
It doesn't feel that long ago. You know, like I think about it. Like my 17-year-old, Cheeky, she's done. She's done with
Yeah.
school. Elena,
She was going into 6th grade that following year.
Yeah.
When we were coming out of the
she's gonna
shutdown.
be a junior, and
I know.
It's like
And here the boys are her age. I mean,
That's crazy.
this was like the summer after the shutdown.
that's true.
So going into that next year, she was going into 6th grade. So that amount of time, those boys are going to be, you know,
It's in a
the
blink,
end of
bro.
high school. It is. It's crazy.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when all my kids are done with school. My sister-in-law Sandra, her kids are done, all of them.
Yeah.
She has no kids left in school. Mm-hmm. I mean, she has her grandson, but he's 3. But I think she said, oh, "Thank God," like
Yeah.
I'm good, like-
yeah.
But her kids are also like working,
Yeah.
so she's, I guess, living that life of not empty nester, but in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Your kids are
Do
self-reliant.
they live by her?
Most of your kids live right by her.
Because I could imagine it's not as hard when they're in the same town. You can get together.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's like when all your kids are all
So-
across the country doing.
So her son, he lives in this small little, pretty much like a shed, but it's like a converted little room.
Okay.
And that's in the behind the house, and then her daughter lives in the house, obviously, and then both daughters live relatively close. One lives literally. There's a fence line. She lives in the apartments behind.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, it's close. But she also has easy access to her grandkid and stuff.
That's cool.
So they're very close in that sense.
Yeah.
I feel like our kids, with me and Alicia, they're gonna end up being kind of spread out.
Really?
Yeah. Well, like our Beamy, he's back home. Leo, he's at the house, but eventually I can see, like, Cheeky's been talking about wanting to move to California.
What does she want to do there?
I don't know what she wants to do. She's gonna live with her friend. That's all we know.
Okay.
But
that's
don't know
cool.
when that's gonna happen. If that's gonna happen, but one of her friends wants to move over there. But
Okay.
shit costs money.
Hey,
Cali's not cheap.
I will say, Cheeky, I really think she could do like movie makeup stuff.
Oh, she could.
She's a very talented kid
She
with
is.
that.
She's
lady.
Yeah, she's good at that stuff.
Yeah.
She'll do little fake cuts and shit on her arm. I haven't seen her do that in a while. But
Fake cuts on her arm. That's
I guess that sounds bad. But one of the things she did though, where it was like an open gash on her forearm and stuff.
She did a costume a few years back. I think she had like her face was like all messed up from tears and stuff. It was
Elena's doing some kind of I can see Elena doing like costume work.
Uh-huh.
Because she's right now building something in her room.
Yeah, she's way into that kind of stuff.
Like cosplay stuff. Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy.
So
What else happened over this week? I ran into Mike at Walmart.
Oh, did you? Oh, nice.
A part of me thinks he might think I called him Mark. Because I was like,
really?
see you, Mike. So, I don't know if he thought I called him Mark, but it was Mike.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
Yeah, I seen him. Yeah, I was at Walmart.
So it's unfortunately, I won't see him all the time during the year.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man.
Because he was kind of like our little editor there. He'd be like, hey, I couldn't hear the podcast last week. Oh, crap. Let's go back in.
I was like, hey, you have a chance. We need to go kayaking again. I was telling him,
I know. I want to do that this summer. And I say that every summer we don't. But I
Yeah,
feel like
he said he had went out to like Bateman Island out there not that long ago and stuff. So
he does it quite a bit. The paddle boarding for sure.
yeah, me and Alicia bought some paddle boards last
ya?
year, and it's pretty cool, man. We got
Yeah.
inflatable ones, and I will say they're very sturdy. And
Yeah.
I remember when Mike had his, and I was like,
Yeah, his
Man,
is,
this is-
very sturdy. They're thick plastic.
oh, it's
Some
very
kind,
thick.
yeah,
It works.
so-
They work great,
yeah,
but it's a lot harder than I thought.
I'll bet.
My center of gravity ain't
Great.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our niece Yasmin, she's I don't know, like she's JJ's age, yeah, Elliot's age. she was pro. But
Well,
I'm like,
they're
you're short.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
different.
It's a giant board with this tiny baby on it. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I'm on it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Can you imagine me on there?
I have a hard time running upstairs, man. You want me on the water with this thing?
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I'll stick with my kayak as long as it's not those rapids we tried to do a few summers ago. I couldn't fucking move. Oh my God.
You were just.
That was so hard, man.
It was.
The only thing I can think of is because my kayak's so wide.
Well, I think part of it was
know.
with the river coming through those
pylons or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was causing the river was already running pretty hard that year.
Oh yeah, but it was
fast.
definitely funneling through.
But when it funneled through, it was like coming a lot faster, so that just made it a little more difficult. But yeah, no. What else? Is going on?
I'll tell you, I had a great time yesterday. Went to my first protest ever.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's no secret how people feel on this podcast. You've heard
yeah.
tirade enough.
The King,
But
No King.
I went to the No Kings protest.
That was going on
never protested
nationwide
in my life. I talk a lot of shit, but I don't do a lot of shit. So I never went to a protest, but went to it. It was crazy. There were way more people there than I thought Tri-Cities would see. We only had a few people come through in their trucks and blast smoke at us.
I believe it.
A couple of fingers, one finger salutes. Most of the people driving through, though, were really,
well, I mean,
pretty supportive of the whole thing, which around here, I didn't really anticipate that.
I think there's more, I don't know.
I think a lot of
fingers than
people are kind of seeing like some of the steps that maybe aren't the best.
But
so anyway, it was a really fun experience. Got a little sunburnt.
Did you guys say hell no, we won't go?
We said no kings, no kings, no kings, no kings. I brought an American flag. I wore a USA shirt.
All right.
I wore my green flag
Mexico
hat.
flag?
I was like, because one thing that has
Green Mexican flag hat?
made me, yeah. One thing that's made me very angry is if you see an American flag, who do you think is flying that flag?
Oh, they always think it's a racist, 100%.
It's a Trumper, right? It's like a
Trumper, racist, something.
So it really makes me angry because I'm a very patriotic person.
See,
and
that's the thing I think is annoying.
It's
Not
really no. But it's really it is irate to me that one group thinks that they get to own that symbol.
I don't think it's one group though. I don't think it's that. I think personally, this is my personal belief and I think a lot of times media has a big influence on the fact that they make it seem that it's.
I do not disagree.
That it's this is the issue. Only rednecks fly the American flag. Gotcha. When in a sense, it's just because you can be proud of your country, regardless what side you're on.
Right.
So it's like, but it's always a negative when it's someone who supports Trump. So they. They always portray it as the good old boys or whatever, the ghetto boys or I don't know, the good old boys.
Yeah.
But that's how I always see it.
Gotcha.
Is anytime I see anything in the media, it's always like that. Yeah. They never show the flip side of the fact that there's people who still love the country, still fly the flag, but they argue on this side. You never see that in the media,
right?
To me, anyway.
No, you're absolutely right. The
so that's where I always
the storyline is the Patriots are this.
Yeah, but you can be patriotic.
It's
on
certainly
both sides.
not true. I completely agree. So I had a few friends there that were like, "Why are you wearing that?" They were like, "Why are you doing?" And my point, and they got it after I said it. Like because of that very point, I want people to look at me and go, "He looks like a Trumper," because that's the whole point. This is my flag.
Yeah,
this is my country. I was born here. This is my place. And you don't get to tell me that I don't get to love my flag or my country. I had one old guy, it was kind of funny. He came up to me and David. We were waiting for the girls. They had to run back to the car real quick.
Did Blanca go with you guys?
No, she didn't want to.
Oh, you said the girls.
Well, so it was Brooke and then a gal that she worked with.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
so they went back to the car real quick and then they were coming back. So we were just waiting and this guy comes up, this older guy, and goes, "You the good guys or the bad guys?" And I go, "I think we're the good guys. I don't know." Like, and he's like, "Okay." Somehow he brought it up. He goes, "You the Republicans or the Democrats?" And I'm really not either, but I'm definitely not the Republican. So I said, "Well, I guess I'm the Democrat." And he goes, "Oh," and he said some bullshit thing. And so I was just walking away. I go, "Hey," and he turns and looks at me. And I go, "What do you feel about January 6th?" And he turns around and shakes his head and walks off. I'm like, "Yeah, get the fuck out of here, you dick."
See, I don't know.
That
That's
pissed
so
me off.
dumb, though. It's like,
Well, I'm just like, the good guys or the bad guys. Okay, if you love your country, you're one of the good guys.
yeah.
Like, I am just...
And don't get me wrong, you could still love your country and be on the other side. It doesn't matter.
You can.
But I think there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
I
And
agree.
think a lot of stuff right now is the wrong way.
The wrong way to do things.
That's being, but like I said, I think for me, a lot of times I see stuff in the media where it's like, I feel like they make it seem like
They're trying to
that
sell
way.
a story. They're
Of course.
trying to craft a narrative, and a narrative has to be told in a story format.
And it depends on what are you seeing, right? Because
Yeah.
Democratic media, this is bad. Republican media, this is bad.
Well,
So it's like,
and they will flat out show something or not show something. That is
Oh, yeah.
newsworthy based on whatever they want to sell, whatever idea they want to sell.
and I wasn't
So-
trying to go that shit because I'm a little more brown than normal. The sun got me.
Well, Brooke asked that shit.
I'm not
Why
cutting
aren't they here?
ice.
And I said, well, I mean,
I'm
I'm
not-
like, they're not as political.
I'm not
anyway.
political.
You guys aren't that political, which is not a bad thing.
And it's not
And-
that I don't agree with what's going on, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's also, I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I'm something I'm not. I'm not a political person at all.
Yeah.
I support everyone's right to protest and everyone's right. I
Right.
think sometimes there's a wrong way to do it where it's
Well,
there's peaceful and there's
crime
not
is
peaceful.
not protest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the basic thing. And I've watched a lot of clips lately where it's like, oh, this, like on the left side where they're like, oh, Ron DeSantis said that they are going to like murder people who protest. And really what he said was, if you commit a crime, like all he really said was if you surround somebody in their car and they feel threatened for their life, they don't have to just sit there. They can take off. And if you get hit, it's your fault.
I agree.
And I'm not saying that I want violence, but I'm like, that's very different than what the projected message was, right? Kind of to your point of a media outlet spinning something. He's not saying that he wants protesters run down. What he's saying is if you become a mob and you attack somebody,
They have a right to protect
they have a
themselves.
right to protect themselves. And I don't disagree with that either. They're, like you said, peaceful protest is a First Amendment right. It's super important. But that doesn't mean that violence is protected. That's not protected. It's a crime.
All I know, ICE is a thing. Me, my wife, Tom's wife, we ain't trying to we're Mexican. We ain't trying to get put
So I have a
sent to Mexico.
Because this has been something that's in my mind a lot. And it's very serious.
My wife's down here.
There was this gal that posted this video. And she said, hey, white guys, like, you need to stand up now. That's kind of her point, was like, she felt women are being under attack, like people of color under attack. So she's like, basically, you have a responsibility to stand up for the people that can't stand up for themselves. And I felt a lot of sort of responsibility in that sense of like, if you have the privilege, right, which I think there's a level of privilege that you have if you're
white,
right. Don't you have a bigger responsibility to stand up and do something to say, I'm at least going to make it a little harder for you to just bulldoze through people.
Yeah.
I don't like when I see that my ICE thing is like, I don't have an issue with immigration and with policy, but I have an issue when people wear masks over their face. How do you know that this isn't just a kidnapping?
Yeah.
How do you know that there's any like true legitimacy to what's happening versus just a person getting kidnapped off the street?
Right?
I have
wanna see your- let me see that badge.
big issue with that. Now, I do know that there are rules of engagement if you see something like that. Like you can ask for a badge number.
Yeah.
You can demand certain information. Now, apparently they'll just run you over because I've seen the video too where the car just gets slammed. Have you seen that? 2 trucks like hit this car and they're like border patrol or ICE trucks and they just take off. They just leave. I don't know what happened.
You think there's any idiots out there that actually see like a legit Ready Ice truck?
Like, fuck ice. Knowing our populace, probably. There are a lot of very dumb people. But
Glacier Ice, fuck you.
well, I was living my best life out there because I get very obviously stirred up about this crap.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt really good to be out there like doing something just to get it out of me and out there in the
get that
universe.
energy out for sure.
So I felt good, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the Badger Mountain Brewing Company after if you want to go." And like, hell yeah, let's do some protesting and then drink. And then so I was like getting ready to talk to Blanca, and she calls,
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, "Oh, here she's on the phone. I'll see if she wants to go anyway." So riding this high, we're having a good time. And she's like, "Hey, I'm here at the vet with Joni, our dog that we've had for 10 years."
10 years. Oh, I thought I was thinking 13.
It was 10 years. 10 years. But since Elliot was a baby, he was about 1 when we got her. And the first dog we got together, Cupcake's really our first dog, but Blanca had Cupcake before I knew her. So she's like, "Yeah, I got her at the vet because she wasn't doing very well for 2 days. She was getting skinny all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like you could feel her backbone all of a sudden, and you could just kind of see her almost like crippling in some weird way. And she couldn't eat. She was laying around. So we're like, something's like up.
Like this.
She ate something, or maybe she's like just really constipated. You know, dogs sometimes need some help.
I had a dog like that.
So we were thinking like she probably needs like an enema or something. So she got her in the emergency vet. And so she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." I was like, "Well, I can come in. Like, I can be done at any point." So she's like, "Yeah, you probably want to come in." So I went in, and basically something burst in her abdomen.
Do they know what it was?
They don't know what broke, but something, it happens. They said it's like the silent killer. Oh. And when it happens, it happens, and it gets worse and worse and worse. So it can be fine for a while where the body compensates, and then it gets to a point where it can't anymore.
Yeah.
So they confirmed she's in a massive amount of pain. That's why she's not moving very much. She wasn't whining. She didn't look like she was hurting. She just looked lethargic and like more like uncomfortable.
That's how Rex was when he had his stomach issue. He wasn't. I don't think he whined or anything.
Yeah.
He just wasn't doing well.
So they pretty well told us like they could do surgery for about $10,000, and she had about 5% chance of survival.
Oh, Jesus.
Or we could have her put down. So we decided to have her put down, and that is always a shitty thing. So
yes,
we got the kids. I ran over and picked up both kids and brought them in, and they got to say their goodbye, and then we did the whole thing. And so she passed. So we buried her at the house.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but that you buried her.
Well, yeah, we buried her at the house. Cool. I mean, it saved like $400. So
it saved like, $10,000.
How much are the costs? They read them out. Okay, and Elliot learned a very valuable adult lesson. He goes, "We have to pay for this." I go, "Yep, buddy.
He's like,
you get to pay to kill your dog." Yeah. Oh God, that wasn't fun.
So, what would they have done if you were like, "Well, we'll take her home and take care of her. We'll do it ourselves."
I'll murder her. No, we live on a farm. It's all right.
Old Yeller.
I don't know.
Look away.
Well, Blanca asked him, like, "What about medicine?" They're like, no. Like, and we saw her gums after she passed, and they were like pure white. She had bled enough that she was like losing massive amounts of blood.
No, that's always tough. So, we were at Costco, and then after Costco, we went to a yard sale that was nearby. And that's when Blanca called Alicia. And Alicia was like, "Oh, no." And then my first thought was like, Cupcake. I was like, fuck.
Well,
Cupcake.
yeah, because we know our dog Cupcake is not doing well. And we imagine within the summer.
And she goes, "Oh, no, Joni." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, shit." And
we didn't anticipate it.
And then Alicia was just like, should we go? And like, so after we were done, we went home to go unload everything.
Yeah.
And she's like, should we go? You know, she goes, we should go. But then by then, I think Elena had just come home.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pretty quick process.
She's like, "Oh, my mom's just going home."
Yeah. Well, they asked.
I wouldn't want to be there either because we put Beans down.
Yeah.
Or we used to have a boxer, and we had to put him down because Blake. He just couldn't move anymore.
Yeah. There's a point where it's
so
not,
sad.
there's no life.
We got him cremated, but
You know, I've gotten to the point I can handle it. I can make the tough decision. I can say, yeah, it's time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, I mean, yeah, there was a good few minutes there of tears, and you know,
well, I'd hope it's
yeah. I mean, I'm a human.
like, oh, come on.
Yeah, but we
almost
did.
done
I
here.
mean, they asked if like we were ready, and my feeling was like we need to get it over with. If she's in pain,
Yeah.
like what are we going to wait around for? It's not really about how I feel. It's like she needs to not feel pain anymore.
You know, and it's kind of crazy, right? Because to do that to a human's inhumane.
Oh yeah, we go to prison for that.
But at the same time, it's like, but is it? Because it's like, what if they want that? That I get the whole Dr. Kevorkian thing.
What I don't understand. It's God's will, right? The whole argument is God will take them when he's ready. And God's not ready. Isn't it equally immoral to keep somebody solely alive on life support?
I feel like it is.
Where if they're brain dead and there's no chance of survival if you pull that plug.
So this is my thing. I've always said this. If I'm ever on my deathbed, and I don't know if I told Blanca this when we were together, but I know I've told Alicia this.
Oh.
If you ever had this fantasy of murdering someone,
Do it.
I will consent. You can put a fucking pillow over my face and kill me. Right? I won't be in pain. I won't be costing money.
Yeah.
I'm already going to die. You can live out your fantasy.
Yeah,
And I'd be cool with it, right? I won't haunt you. I promise.
Live out your fantasy of murder. You heard it here first, folks. If I ever randomly die, it's my wife's fantasy of murder.
But I have to be on my deathbed. You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha. There's some real clear stipulations.
So I was always like, what is it, euthanized?
Yeah.
Right?
Euthanasia, yep.
No, I don't like that term. Why is it always got to be Asian?
I know, the youth in Asia.
Yeah, the youth in Asia.
Young Asians. I remember that when I was a kid.
That's how I thought about it.
Well,
What
because
do
the
you mean youth in
Kevorkian
Asia?
case was when we first heard it, I think.
Yeah, that's
And I remember thinking, like, what do they have to do with anything? I don't get it.
goddamn euthanasia.
They bring these Chinese kids here and they kill you?
These damn youth.
I was a Trumper for like a year and a half over that stuff.
Hell no, we won't
Yeah,
go.
I'm going to make America great again. These Chinese kids are coming here and killing everybody. No.
That's what I always thought, though. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds so weird.
Euthanasia. Yeah.
But like there was obviously his stuff was what it was. But then I can, as I got older, I can see the flip side. I could see that being okay in a sense.
Yeah.
Like if it was consented.
Well, the problem with him was he actually did it. Like, I think he actually administered it.
Well, yeah, but they consent is the thing, right?
They did. They did consent.
So if there's consent, I mean, that sounds fucked up, right?
Well,
But it's consent. It's like, fuck it.
I just think if it's wrong to end a life, it's probably also wrong to extend a life. If you're just logically speaking, if I'm someone that argues it's God's will, then just because it's always these like Christian people that are like, oh, we're not going to pull the plug. No. If they're brain dead, they're not coming back, and all you're doing is keeping them alive. God has said, come home, my child, and you're keeping them on life support.
You know how much energy that is?
Yeah. You're killing the planet to keep this person alive.
You know what my power bill is because
Yeah.
you're keeping me alive?
Right. The kilowatt hourage, it's a lot.
The breakers popped 4 times.
Yeah. I don't know what it
What if
is,
you were
but
at a
I hear it's a
hospital?
lot.
You're at a hospital with bad electricity and
Right.
it pops every night.
Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Panel
yeah.
4.
Right. I mean, hey.
He popped the breaker again.
Golly.
This guy's too big. He can't be on this life support.
This is a life support machine. It's a lot of life to support.
This guy got big lungs.
Yeah. Boy.
No, that's crazy though.
It's wild.
Well, no, I guess I don't know. That whole thing's like, I don't know. I always have these weird, I believe in God, but then there's these things that I see that make me really question things.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks back, you get this dad who fucking murders his babies There's like 3 girls or something,
Yeah.
or 2 girls. He kills his
Out
dog.
of Wenatchee, right?
Yeah, and it's like, that's, to me, that's
The
what
devil's
are you
work.
doing? I know it's the devil's work, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what you mean.
It's just, that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, come on, man. How is that? You can't tell me that was God's will, right?
Right.
For them to be murdered that way.
Yeah, the God's will versus free will thing is very confusing.
But like,
sometimes
oh, there's a reason for it. No, there's no reason. You can never convince me that there's good.
that didn't need to happen.
This is good's gonna come out of this. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
No, my pain for this person killing my daughters would not come out. As a bomb or something like.
I had a moment when I was about 16. I remember my dad, we thought he had lung cancer, and he ended up not having it. But we went through a period of time where it was like confirmed essentially lung cancer, and we knew he was going to die. So it was a very stressful time because we were like, he's going to die quickly, a couple months, and he's going to be gone. Confirmed by a doctor, basically.
Jesus.
Well, he actually got the health checks that you get at work, and that's where they first
they do the chest
they saw
X-ray.
a mass on his lung, and they said, you need to go see a doctor now. So he went, and the mass looked like cancer. So the doctor said, if it is cancer, which we don't know what else it would be, then it's stage 4, and you've got basically like 3 months to live at most. So we recommend that you get your affairs in order.
Poor dad's stressed out, like, damn.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like he came home and told us, like, guys, I'm probably going to die. So we need to get
What
things.
a tough talk for your dad.
Oh, he broke down and cried. One of the only times I've seen him cry.
Of course.
And,
Imagine telling your kids that.
yeah, it was rough. It was a rough time. And it was right before Christmas, too.
I was going to say, was it
So
on
he had
Father's
to
Day?
go in and get a biopsy. And we got the call on Christmas Eve from the doctor. He called on Christmas Eve and said, you're not going to die. It's not cancer. We don't know what it is yet, but it's not cancer.
There's a smudge on the lens.
So, yeah. No, it ended up being he had a heavy metal disease from Hanford. He had sarcoidosis.
Too much metal, bro.
Which turns into, if it's confirmed, it's chronic beryllium disease.
Oh,
So
okay,
beryllium is
yeah.
one of the
They talk
metals
about
that they used out there. Well, he was one of the first guys that got the government confirmation of that or whatever.
Yeah.
So he ended up not dying of cancer, and he's still alive today. And I forgot where I was going with that story. Where did I start?
We're talking
that
about
story?
God and His will.
Yes. Thank you. So it was a very emotional time, but my emotions were just kind of dead throughout that whole thing. And then I was online. I don't even know what I was looking up, but this is like pretty shortly after 9/11. This is within that school year of 9/11. And so I think this is like the December after 9/11. I think it was that close. So somebody had posted something online about this idea of like free will. And it was this question of like, how could God let the World Trade Center get hit by terrorists? And the response to the way it was written, it was much more articulately stated than what I'm going to say. But basically, they said God grants us free will to choose our way. But even though he allowed the buildings to be hit, God held the pilots of the planes in his arms and comforted these people in their last moment. This kind of thing.
Yeah, so...
And whatever it was, I started bawling. As a 16-year-old boy, I was crying my eyes out because I think everything from my dad for those months building up, it's like that was all it took. And, the 9/11 shit was still very raw. And I just fell apart. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Jesus H.
Yeah,
Do you think his middle name's Heavenly?
I think so. Yeah, who is Jesus H. Christ?
Yeah.
Jesus Heavenly Christ.
Or it's like Hector.
Jesus Jorge Christ.
Dude, can you imagine? ICE would fucking take Jesus.
Oh, ICE would take Jesus today.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos where people will like take Jesus's words and like, "Oh, what a piece of shit."
That's crazy.
He's a communist.
Get this commie out.
Yeah.
That's kind of essentially kind of what my mom had said about because I had posted this thing like, you tell me about this and this is what happens. Like I have a hard time sometimes believing.
Yeah.
And I know there's a higher power, but it's very hard for me to sometimes like. I always question things.
Yeah.
But my mom essentially kind of said what you just said. Like, well, God probably took these babies before the dad did that, right? They were probably dead before that. He took their spirit before he, killed his little babies.
Well, there's things that you just can't understand.
But I was like, oh my God. Lately I've been kind of emotional too.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know why.
The baby's growing up, kids graduating, all that kind of stuff.
Music's a big thing for me. I'll hear things and it'll just kind of, something resonates with me and it'll choke me up.
I gotcha.
I was watching this video the other day, and sometimes the soldiers returning to see their kids.
Oh yeah.
Something about that. I showed Alicia one because I know it's gonna make her cry, so I showed it to her on purpose, right? And it's this little girl. She's in her classroom, and she sees her dad. Right when she sees her dad, she must miss her dad a lot because she starts breaking down.
Yeah.
Dad, oh my god. She's crying.
Yeah.
Already sad. Well, the teacher's in on this. The dad's actually home.
Okay.
Right. So they do this whole on video
oh yeah.
Guess where I'm at?
I think I've seen that.
I'm in Germany. This and that. Whatever. Oh, someone came and flew, and it was the mascot was with him also. And then the daughter's brain clicked. She's like, "You're here? Are you here, Dad?" And he's like, yeah. And she just, the moment she realizes he's there, Alicia was gone. She's like, why am I crying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I did too. I just wanted to share.
No, some things are just emotional. There's that show I love, and I think I mentioned it on here before. I think I told this story, but I'll tell it again. Midnight Mass, one of my favorite, all-time favorite miniseries. There's this scene. I was painting the house a couple of years ago on the inside. It was October, and I'm painting the living room. And I just had it playing. I'd watched it before. I didn't really have to watch it. I could just listen to it, kind of like you with Supernatural.
Yeah.
And I'm painting along, and there's this scene where this one character loses her baby. And she and this other character are talking through it. And they're talking about death and the eternity and space and all this stuff. And she starts, he kind of goes through this whole thing, which is kind of one of the things I've wondered. And he talks about how we're just energy and energy dissipates and we just go back to the energy that we always were and that will always be. And it's this big thing. And they have this soft, kind of saddish, almost like Deck of the Titanic music kind of playing. And you're listening to them talking, you're I could see that. And then she starts saying, well, my baby never had a chance for that. And so I think that my baby is there where she's always been and always will be. And she's with everyone I've ever loved. And they're all there with her and blah, blah, blah. She's going on this whole thing. And I am not a crier. No. I don't cry I cried for a few minutes for Joni. And then I was kind of done and all right, we can move on. I was God, their baby died. Don't know why. I must have been going through something. It was paint fumes, I guess. It was funny.
It was cutting onions.
I was God, but sometimes a good cry just feels so
I don't ever
good.
cry where I'm sobby, right?
Yeah.
I'll watch that video or I'll hear a song, something that kind of just pulls at them strings.
Yeah.
And then I'll just feel it, and then tears start coming down my face. Yeah, for a second, I'm if anybody ever sees my face, I'm at work and I'm sitting in my cubicle, I'm sitting there because there's times it's fucking. I love my new job. There's times it's fucking slow, and I'm sitting there just doom scrolling is the term I've been hearing a lot. Just kind of scrolling through, and then I'll watch something, and I'm I'll just sit back. Let me just fix my mascara.
Jesse, are you overwhelmed?
Oh my god! I'm just tired. I just yawned. I swear to God, I just yawned about 300 times. That's why I'm tears come. And so today's obviously Father's Day. I'm wearing a shirt that says it says just a dad who always came back with milk.
Yeah.
So JJ got this for me.
Nice.
I don't know how. A couple years ago.
Okay.
I couldn't fit into it. By the way, then it was a little tight.
Looks good now.
Yeah, I can fit into it now. But anyway, it was so recently, and I've been telling Alicia, I was I was talking to her about something, and then I was like, nah, I go, honestly, I'm just a background character in the house, right? I'm quiet. For the most part, I'm a very quiet person. This podcast, I talk a lot. At work, I have to talk here and there, but for the most part, I'm pretty quiet. I keep to myself. So I always say I'm background. I'm just background. She's like, what? And then I said something about. I brought something up, and she goes, "You didn't say that." And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Like, and then like someone agreed, and I was like, "Exactly. You just proved my point. I'm a background. I'm just here. I'm just like a, NPC is the term I hear a lot, right?"
Sure.
And then obviously Father's Day's here, and no one gives a fuck about Father's Day.
True.
Right? It's just
Yeah,
Father's
true.
Day. Your kids will maybe remember. Like
No.
JJ was.
Elliot made me a card this morning and had Blanca draw Joni, and it was sweet. But
That's
I'm
sweet.
like, okay,
Like this morning, JJ comes in the room. Hey, blah blah blah, and then Alicia's going to get coffee. She's gonna make me breakfast and stuff. Alicia's
That's
very
nice.
very sweet. And then you hear her go, "Did you tell your dad? Did you tell your dad Happy Father's Day?" He's like, "Oh, Happy Father's Day, Dad. Oh, thanks."
yeah,
And then, you get texts from your friends here and there,
Yeah,
right?
right.
The boys, we always text each other. I think that's one thing that's cool.
because the guys will
The
tell
guys
each other
will
Happy
text-
Father's Day.
Dude, and I was getting ready to text you. So you text me, then my buddy Efren texts, and then I text my friend Nick, and my little core group.
Yeah.
We all text each other like, Happy Father's Day, Happy talk. Hey, bro, Happy Father's Day, whatever. And then we had talked to my stepdaughter, Cheeky. Oh, the first person that actually told me Happy Father's Day, besides Alicia, was my other stepdaughter, Sadia. She texted me Happy Father's Day, whatever.
She's more aware now that she's older.
She is.
They have a
It's something
kid.
that Cheeky had told me that I never knew this, and I think I mentioned this on this podcast, or I said it to someone. But I don't care. It's Father's Day, so I'm going to say it again. I was talking. Me and Alicia were having a conversation with our old, our daughter that just graduated, and I was like, man, you guys used to hate me. Like Sadia hated me. Like she hates me. Like, or no, she doesn't hate me, but like she used to hate me and this and that. She's like, what? I was like, yeah. She goes, she's like talks about how you're like her favorite person and this and that. Like she looks at you like this. I'm like, oh, like okay, like.
You see,
I mean, I go, but before,
she may not have liked you at the time for
but-
just the circumstances of life, but
I know, and I had said, hey, there's a moment she did not like me,
Yeah.
and something I know
But
this is a long
because of
story,
that
but
moment.
but like even when I got to with Alicia, I would always tell her, I'm just gonna be who I am. Eventually, the kids will come around.
Yeah.
And when I say I played the long game, we have been married for 8 years together, about 12 years or whatever.
You did, and you won.
I've been playing that long game. Well, today, like Ziana, my 17-year-old, she made me a beautiful card. It has these little. It's a fork with a bunch of steak in the fork, and it's well done, medium, well, all the way down to rare. She goes, and it says like, "Oh, you're the rarest of them all."
Oh,
It was
that's
it was
nice.
super sweet, right?
She made it herself.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Like she drew the stakes and everything.
Yeah.
Like it's a very sweet little card. She goes, oh, I saw this idea, whatever. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. She goes, and here's a letter, because inside it's just Happy Father's Day, thank you, blah blah. And then she wrote me a letter, like a 2-page letter. And so I'm reading the letter, and I'm sitting on the bed, and I don't even want to talk about it really because it'll probably make me cry right now. I'm like reading it, and it's her just saying like. Like I look at you like you're more than like a stepdad, this and that. Like I was like, I start crying,
Yeah.
and I don't cry like, like the tears start coming down. I'm like, God damn it,
Yeah.
like it was a very heartfelt, very sweet card. Made me feel good. Like
Yeah.
she goes, I know sometimes you don't think highly of yourself, right? Because there's a moment, there's times now even where that I have those thoughts, right? Everyone's seen that, but she goes, but I just want you to know
What I think of you.
you have a positive effect, blah. And I was just like, And I was like, I told Lisa, and I kind of start crying, like tears coming out, and I was like, God damn it! I was like, I was gonna text her and be like, someone put onions on this goddamn piece of paper. It was such a sweet moment that I was just like, I don't know. It made everything as a step parent, as a parent, like even though as a dad sometimes we get like a kind of a, it's Father's Day. We don't get it fucking. They don't give a.
No.
They don't care. But
moms can be mad if their day sucks, but we better just take it. And move on,
So like when you get to actually see the effect you might have on your children, or the effects that you don't think you're even performing on them, and then you see that come back, like something about that is just like, damn.
Yeah.
And Alicia goes, see, you're not a background person. You're very.
You just brought that full circle.
Yeah, nice she's job. Like, you're not background. Just so you know that,
But that's kind of what a dad is. You're right. I mean, a dad is just background because somebody needs to be,
Or white noise. It's a lot of times.
But it's that consistent white noise.
But you need the white noise.
Yeah, it's the force that you take for granted because it's there.
Yeah, because like some of us need white noise to sleep.
Yeah,
and when you don't have that white noise, it's hard to sleep, right? Mm-hmm. So even though you think sometimes you're just this background noise and this white noise, in reality, you're doing something that you might not think you're anything. Because, mind you, I think this about myself is like, but like, you see it, and then when you hear like, hey, no, actually, I look at you more, you've been there more than my own dad, like stuff like that. Like you're just like, damn, it makes you really kind of question. Maybe I should not do this or that, or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe I am not just a background player.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more than that.
You are.
But like, but as a dad, you're still kind of that white noise. But remember, white noise is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got to sleep with it.
Yeah.
You can't sleep without white noise. If you sleep with white noise, you need that. Mm-hmm. I need the background noise when I go to bed to, go to sleep.
Right.
I have to listen to Supernatural. That's my white noise.
There you go.
I got to listen to the scary stuff.
Yeah. So be proud to be the white noise.
It is.
Your kids take you for granted. It means that they trust you.
Yeah. And I think...
And there's a difference between taking you for granted and just being a brat,
Yeah.
If you want your kids to be secure, that you're there for them, and they don't even have to question that.
And I think that's the thing. I think for us, for being just weirdly blended, I think all our kids, they know we're there for them. I think even Elliot, he knows... he might not say nothing, obviously, but he knows we're... Like myself and Elise, we're there for him too.
Yeah.
Just like our kids know the same for you guys, right? Mm-hmm. That there's this, we're always going to be there for our kids and our extended family.
Yeah,
this is how we are, man.
That's
how we
true.
roll as dads.
That's very true. Like you said, you've always said Elliot's like a nephew, and I feel that way with JJ. I mean, it's just, or all the kids.
They're upstairs right now playing fucking.
It's an extension of family, and if you are lucky enough to have, a broken situation turn into a beautiful blended situation, it's a high honor and a privilege. I
don't know. I just attest to Mike. I had a stepdad growing up, and he was nothing. He was garbage to me, right? But I seen how my mom was as a step parent, and I don't give my mom enough credit sometimes, And I don't think she gives herself enough credit, obviously, too. But, like, she was a very good stepmother to my brother and sister's sister, my stepsister, and even her brother. But she treated them just the same.
Uh-huh.
At least he's the same way.
Yeah.
Blanca, I think, is the same way. You guys don't have stepkids. Like,
right.
But you know what I mean?
Right.
But Blanca still treats all the kids like JJ. Everyone's treated...
the same.
These are your kids are not right, and so for me that's always I'm gonna treat. If I have stepkids, I'm gonna treat them this way. I'm just gonna be me. You just got to be true to yourself. At the end of the day, be true to yourself. and the rest will fall into place.
There you go.
Right?
Is that a song?
Probably.
Like I've heard that.
It's a country song.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
by Trump.
Nice.
Oh my God. So my daughter went to like a doctor's appointment. And so I had to take her on Friday, right? Making things funny. And so he's Indian. And
Okay.
and by Indian, I don't mean Native American. India, right? That's the correct term, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right? I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know any other terms.
Anyway, we go to this doctor's appointment, go through the whole rigmarole of whatever you do at a doctor's appointment. So I'm sitting there, and Cheeky says something about her doctor, and obviously he comes in and he says exactly what she says he says. But the thing, I almost fucking died laughing, right? Have you ever heard something or like in your head you're not expecting it, and it's like hard. It's hard for you to like not laugh.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
right?
I sure have had that happen. Yep.
So this happened to me, right? This doctor comes in and he starts to speak,
Okay.
and I almost lose my shit because he sounded, and I kid you not, he sounded like Adolf Hitler with an Indian accent. He had an Indian German accent. It was the craziest
Huh.
mashup.
Did he speak angry? Did
No,
he slam the table?
He had such a sweet little voice, but it also sounded a little Nazi.
Huh.
Right? It sounded a little
And
bit...
that's exactly what she explained? Like
No, she didn't explain his voice to me at all.
Oh.
She just said, he's going to say this.
Okay.
Which he did. But when his voice, when he said
You
those
heard
things,
Adolf Hitler.
I was like... I didn't expect it to come out of him because it was such a small voice. Sounded like a little girl, a little bit. Not a girl, but like...
Okay. Just young.
Not manly.
Okay.
Right. But it also...
So if he listens to this,
he doesn't
Jesse's
listen to
very
this.
sorry.
No. But like he was very nice guy.
Yeah.
Super good doctor. He seems like actually probably a really good doctor.
Okay.
He's like a pediatrician or whatever.
Yeah.
But he his voice did not match him, right? So he had this slight accent, but it also was a hint of German, like Nazi German though.
Like maybe he learned German?
I don't know, but it could be my brain thinking it.
Oh, so you're here for the checkup, yeah.
Yeah, he had that, but it also had Indian in it.
I'm not going to do that one.
It's so hard, right? It was... All I know is when he came in and he introduced himself, I was like...
I am Dr. Schnauzer. Let's take some measurements of your head.
She looks at me and she smiles because I think she knew.
She knew that you were going to laugh.
Yeah, I was like... And then so when we got in the truck, got in my truck and we're leaving, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't expect his voice. She goes, I know. I looked at you and I saw you trying not to laugh.
It's like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
This is not good.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse?
It is on Clubhouse.
Right? The little Mickey Mouse gas house? What?
Oh,
damn. You can't be in
it's
this.
the Mickey Mouse Glass House. You remember Mickey Mouse?
Come inside, it's warm inside. Come inside, it's warm inside. That's it.
I don't think you can do that one.
Like, whoa.
I don't think canceling's a thing anymore. Though. So
Nah.
that's good. That's
all jokes.
hey,
Because I
love
love
loving everybody.
The thing I'm into right now, and I told this on the last podcast,
Indian guys.
Food. Indian guys and food.
Indian food's great.
Dude,
it's great.
So it was last week, me, one of my other liaisons, and I don't know what this guy does. I think he's like a project person or something with the IT side, with or the DOE. We all go out to the site. We call it the site to the waste treatment plant, WTP. We go out there anyway. We start talking on the way back, and I was like, "Yeah, man, like we were talking about food, and I was like, yeah, I tried some Indian food. I tried that little Fast and Curious. I love their name. And then he goes, and they both go like, "Oh, it's so good, isn't it?" I go, "It is. It's so good." I go, "Honestly, though, I've never had any food. I don't have anything to compare it to. So for me, it is very good. So I don't know if it is
better than others or just...
I don't know if it's legitimately good.
Yeah.
Or if it's just good to me.
Yeah.
Right? No, they're like, no. It's so good. Have you had their tacos? I'm like, no. But now they're like, both of them, because the liaison, she's Hispanic, like mixed like me, and then the other guy, his name's Mike. He's Hispanic. They're like, dude, they're so fucking good. Like the tacos are so good. And I'm like, really? Like they're Indian
tacos.
Yeah, he goes, I get the lamb and a chicken, right? I'm like, bet I'm getting one tomorrow because they come on Thursdays.
Okay.
So it was Wednesday when we were out there. It's like, oh, I'm getting one, right? He's like, all right. So I get one. I get 3 actually.
I get one.
No, I don't get the one. Oh, so go backwards. Alicia went on Tuesday to the graduation. Wednesday is because I went to work Wednesday, and then Thursday is when I got the tacos. Anyway, just to clear up that story.
So
if you stayed long enough, and just saying it wasn't Thursday I went to work. I still went to work, but it was Wednesday.
Okay.
But anyway, so I get the tacos. I get a lamb. I get 2 lamb because I love lamb, and I get a chicken. Bro, they were
really good.
So the taco shell is non-bread.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Which is already heavenly.
Yeah.
If you haven't had non-bread,
it's very
good. Delicious. Mm-hmm. But then it has the lamb. Then it has like this pickled like onion.
Okay.
Or something.
Yeah.
With a cucumber something. And then it had this like sauce on it.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of sauce it was. It wasn't like a curry or anything. It was it was very fresh. It was a very fresh taste, right?
Yeah.
The onion didn't taste like onion. Huh. It didn't have an onion flavor. I was telling Lacey this. She hates onion. Huh. I was like, babe, I know you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you, but it was actually good. Like, if you close your eyes and I put this in your mouth. You wouldn't
know.
I don't think.
Close your eyes. Let me put this in your mouth.
Wait, wait, wrong thing.
All right.
Do it again. No, here you go. This is food this time. But, like, you wouldn't be able to tell, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you would. Maybe I'm just blind to flavors. Taste blind to flavors. But anyway, it was so good. I destroyed all 3 of them.
Nice.
I'm sitting in my car because I'm a loner because I don't have any friends at work. So I'm like sitting there in my car and just like.
Well, if you're like me, I like to eat alone anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Yeah.
So I destroyed all 3 of them tacos.
Nice.
Lamb, delicious. Chicken, I love chicken. It's probably my favorite type of food. But like the lamb was heaven.
Was it better than the chicken? Or were they comparable?
They were comparable.
Okay.
The lamb was very well done.
Yeah.
Not well done in the sense it was.
No, it was like compliments to the chef. Mwah.
Yeah, it's chef's kiss.
Yeah.
It tasted great. It nice. like it had like beef flavor, right?
Yeah.
Like it looked like beef the way it was, like because it's chunks of meat. Dude, it was so good.
Nice.
I wish this place had its own little spot because I would go there. But it's a little travel.
Just travels around.
Yeah, it was good though.
Nice.
That non-bread, it's like pita bread.
That's very interesting. So they just took Indian food and turned it into a taco-ish.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool.
I wish I would have took a picture. I wish I would have been one of them.
Yeah. A foodie. Foodie.
Tom's bored. He's going to sleep.
No, I'm just sleepy. I'm sleepy today. I woke up at 10.
Did you?
And then I took a nap before I came back over here.
Did you?
You're like, having an hour? I'm like, sure. I went home. I was like, I'm just going to fucking lay down.
Oh, you know what? Shout out to my wife. She's such a good woman. She got me a lawnmower for my Father's Day. Brand new.
Cub Cadet.
Cub Cadet. I always say Club Cadet.
Club Cadet. Yeah.
But Cub Cadet riding lawnmower, little 22 horsepower. Awesome. Got a 350 V8.
Yeah, double carbine.
Double car, don't tread on me.
Hell yeah, brother. He's got a Trump flag flying off the back of it.
And don't
Tread on me on the other side. Woo! Does a wheelie in the front yard.
All 6.5 miles per hour.
Yeah, he drove through the thing yesterday trying to blow smoke at us.
It didn't work. I fucking just backfired. Yeah, everyone ducked because they thought I was shooting at them.
Man, that's cool.
But so yeah, shout out to her. That was very sweet.
Yeah.
I got to use it today. Tested it out. It was nice.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to.
We got a pressure washer today. That was pretty cool. Well, actually, it came in yesterday, but
You guys bought it?
yeah, she found one on Amazon, so I'm just gonna call that my Father's Day gift.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
No, Alicia's got me. You know, I'm not even gonna lie. She's got me some decent Father's Day.
Oh yeah, you got your
Decent.
golf clubs on Father's Day. Didn't
She got
you?
me some okay things.
She's all right. It's like Nate Bargatze, I think, isn't he the one that talked about like how he almost got a lot of really good gifts?
Oh yeah,
His
yeah.
wife would be like, "I almost got you this." He's like, "Wow, that's great. I almost got a lot of nice gifts."
I almost got a lot. Yeah. No, she got me my golf clubs one year.
Yeah.
She surprised me like, "Hey, let's go to Dick's.
That's cool.
Just pick out a driver." And then she saw the price. She's like, "Just get you this whole set."
Wow,
I'm like,
that's
no.
cool.
She's like, "Nah, just get it." I'm like, all right. I ain't gonna say no 3 times.
That's awesome.
Barbecuers.
Yeah,
I have 3.
you got that
bitches.
flat top.
That one. I got my gas grill and
Charcoal.
the charcoal grill was my very first Father's Day gift.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I still have that. I used that at graduation.
Yeah.
So I use all 3 of those. I made burgers today for
Nice.
Father's Day. I got some at Yolks, the ones that are pre-made.
Oh yeah, the
Over
big
by the
thick
fish.
ones. Huh?
It was good, bro.
Nice.
It was jalapeno and cheddar.
Oh, nice. So you got them from the counter
Yeah,
back there. Nice. I've never
Yeah.
bought those, like the fresh ones.
yeah. There was a jalapeno.
I
and
saw
cheddar.
one on the table there. It looked pretty hefty.
Oh, they
pretty
were thick. There was one at tri-tip and
Oh my god.
it had tri-tips, piece of tri-tip in it. That one was okay.
It wasn't as good as you'd think, huh?
Not as good as you think. I think the one with the jalapeno and cheddar had a lot better flavor.
Okay.
But me and Alicia are on the same page. We're not thick burger people. I like my patties a little thinner. I feel
Okay.
like there's more flavor in it.
Okay.
I don't know why.
So,
I don't like a thick patty.
but these being thicker were still good.
They were still good. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I really liked the
That's
jalapeno
interesting. You'd
cheddar.
think it would be the opposite. You'd think that the thicker patty would hold more.
Which they do because they have all the juice, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know. There's something about. I think the meat changes. Like so,
Okay.
when I worked at Arby's,
Well, you'd have to cook it more to get it cooked through.
when
I
we
guess,
worked at
right?
Arby's, you wanted your meat shredded thin,
Okay.
right? Because you get more flavor when you shave the roast beef thinner.
Okay.
Because if you eat a piece of roast beef thick, it's like it's not good.
good.
I'm not even gonna lie, it's not good. I've tried it.
Sure.
So when you shave it
I'm
nice
not a
and thin,
huge roast beef fan to begin with.
so when you shave it thin, it has a much better flavor.
Something about the airflow or something.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just thinner. The salt. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. The molecules.
Okay. It's on the molecular level.
Yeah, it's so much better.
I got you.
I'm a chicken guy myself. I love chicken. It's probably my favorite protein out of food. I think
I'm a steak guy.
I love steak, but for some reason I could eat chicken. I could just eat chicken. I don't know why. I just love chicken. I don't know why. But other than that, I don't get nothing else. Oh, the only last thing I got is I seen something rare in the human kingdom that I have never seen in my 44 years of existence.
Oh.
I saw 2 red-headed people together. Never seen. I was going to Yolks yesterday, and these 2 redheads pop out of the car, and I got scared. One, I thought my soul was gonna leave my body. I thought they were gonna suck my soul out, and then 2, I just thought the world was gonna end because I've never seen that. For 44 years of my life, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's one of the
That's like
the horsemen of the apocalypse.
yeah, that's the one they don't tell you about. There's actually 8.
That's the beginning of the
Yeah, there's
apocalypse.
actually 8 horsemen of the apocalypse. The first one they don't tell you is 2 redheads.
2 redheads
power
emerged
couple.
from a car.
A power couple.
Yeah.
There was a lot
The
of
children are born translucent.
Yeah, they were holding something. I don't know what, but it looked like invisible kids. They had these invisible hands they were holding. I don't know. It was weird. You ever see those people walking on invisible dogs? It was the same thing. It was the same, essentially the same thing, but they just acted like they were holding something. I'm like, wait a minute, he's burping someone.
But I could hear the children's voices.
It was weird. All jokes aside, I've actually never seen that.
Oh man,
I always thought redheads were rare.
a bit.
My brother-in-law's redhead.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ben.
Ben, yeah, he's a redhead.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They must have translucent kids.
Boy, last night, Blanc and I, like I said, we're getting ready to do an Airbnb, so we were at Ross getting some like nice, affordable but nice brand sheets.
Oh yeah, they got
stuff
some nice
like
stuff.
that, bedding stuff. We got a lot of like white sheets, white pillows, that kind of stuff.
That's what I got Alicia for our anniversary.
Oh, nice. So we got several things, 2 carts full of stuff. And there is a gal there. God, you want to feel sad. Go to Ross at 9:30 at night, right off the freeway. There was a gal in there, no teeth, probably mid-50s.
Hello.
From what she looked like. She was mumbling stuff. She was trying to steal, and everybody knew it. And the security guard knew it. The girl at the counter, he was looking at her, and they were very respectful.
Ari was excited because she had no teeth.
I'll let you keep those shirts now. It was so like you wouldn't have done it. She had an armful of stuff, and she was clearly trying to walk out the door.
Yeah.
And this girl that worked there, one of the register girls, was like super sweet to her. It was like, if you come down here, I'll help you. She's like, okay, and she just mumbled. You know when like someone's high enough, they aren't making any sense.
Yeah.
She was like,
that's drunk me.
very jerky.
Yeah.
And she was all over the place, and he kept looking at her. Like, he kept eye contact on her, and she kept like 2 seconds. She'd be like, oh, okay, and then she'd look like she's gonna go out the door, and he's still looking at her. So she'd turn around. Finally, she just put the stuff down and then walked over, and then I noticed her sleeping bag and everything was in the store. So she starts collecting all her stuff, and she goes outside. And so we were, you're not allowed to bring the carts out.
No, you can't.
So they were very, they had those sticks.
Yeah.
So they were very nice. He's like, yeah, I'll watch your stuff like while you get the car. So I brought the car around and just parked it at the door. And then we just kind of ran back and forth grabbing stuff. It was like full carts. So we got the stuff, and I just told him and the younger girl that worked there, like, you guys handled that really well. Like, you guys were respectful. Even though you knew exactly what she was trying to do, like that, just well done. Like,
well, I think in the retail business, I've done retail like that, and it's like, you can only do so much because technically, even if they were to walk out,
you can't really do anything.
You can get in trouble.
But they did it
to handle it in such a sweet way.
They were respectful of her as a human, even though she lacked a lot of respectability in a lot of ways. They treated her with dignity.
But she wasn't disrespectful.
No, either. She was very sweet to her. They knew she wasn't going to pay for it.
Well, no, I'm saying like the homeless, or not homeless. I'm guessing.
Well, she was certainly homeless.
But she wasn't disrespectful in the sense that she was being... She was trying to steal, which I understand.
But
she wasn't being disrespectful.
She was in a really bad spot. Yeah. I think nobody would walk out of there thinking like, ew. It was just sad. It was very, very sad.
There would be someone.
Well, that's true.
Some white lady named Karen. 100%.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be mean, but that's the
You're
truth.
out. You are correct.
I'm not going to lie. Someone would be
Karen who pretends like she doesn't shop at Ross.
I only shop at Nordstrom Rack. I only had to come here because they don't have
Nordstrom
one.
Rack. A Karen would shop at Nordstrom Rack.
I don't know. One day I don't talk about some of the stuff I do, obviously. Not that I'm like a philanthropist.
Yeah.
But not that I do shit like that, but like sometimes I get these like
you're like, I also try to steal from Ross.
Back in the day I used to steal from Target when I was younger. As an idiot kid.
So sorry, Target. However, the statute of limitations are over.
I got my linens for my wife at Target.
Nice.
The other day. Because
for them.
It's our 8-year, it was our 8th year anniversary, and the modern day thing is linens because I wasn't gonna buy her trumpet because she doesn't, because brass is the thing. Like, yeah, she doesn't play the trumpet. Hello, don't think she blows. Hello. Oh. But anyway, so I bought linens from actually Target, No, I was actually by the McDonald's right there, by that Ross. Did you go to the Kennewick one? I'm
yes.
Did you go to the Kennewick one? I'm just assuming.
Yep, the new one.
And there was a guy there that I bought him food. He was asking for money or food or whatever. And so I bought me and the kids. I was with JJ and Elena, and I bought us something at McDonald's, and then Alicia wanted something at A&W, which was right there. But like sometimes I'll see people, and there's something about them or something that just tells me you need to do this.
They actually need help.
Something, I don't know if it's just me feeling guilty.
Yeah.
But there's, I've seen a lot of homeless people in my life. I lived in Seattle. I've seen it. And so the empathy for that sometimes isn't there. But there's certain people that it is, right? And there's actually, so I seen that and I was like, fuck. And so I went through I go, hold on, kids. And I went through the drive-thru, ordered a double cheeseburger meal or something. I got it large or whatever. And then I was like, hey, I rolled down the window. I was like, here you go. And then the kids looked at me like, I was like, nah. JJ goes, hey, Pops. I'm like, what? He goes, that was really nice of you. I'm like,
he goes, hey, Pops, did you just give away our food?
no, because I already got them their food.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I just sometimes you feel like if you feel something, you need to kind of go with that feeling. Because there was this time, and to this day, I always, it kind of like, something about it just never sit well with me. Is I was at Red Apple, and there was this, he wasn't young. He might have been a little younger. Homeless person. I think he was homeless. He was just, asking for money or whatever. But something was telling me to get him what he needed, right? Or give him money, or maybe go buy him a fucking something. But I didn't. And I remember driving home, and I got home, and I told Lisa, I was like, fuck. I felt like I needed to do something, I didn't. Like, I felt so, for like days, I felt guilty. Like, there was a reason that, going back to like, there is a reason for things, right?
Yeah. God.
Something told me to do that, but I didn't listen. So from then on, I was like, okay, anytime I feel that, I got to go with it because
he died.
For my sins.
No, I don't know.
Oh, the kid died.
I
thought you meant God died for my sins. He died.
He starved to death that day. That was the last one he had to eat.
Yeah, I saw that news story too.
No, it is. We had a day where it was, this guy was at the Fred Meyer parking lot, and he was like asking for the $20 of gas to get to Seattle, right? And we knew you're not going to use this on gas.
Yeah.
But I just, kind of like you're saying, I just took that to be like, you know what? It's not my place to worry about what you do with it. It's my, like, kind of that religious thing of like, my responsibility is to give. Your responsibility is to do with it what you think is best. Like, after I give it to you, it is not my concern anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so, we gave him like $20, and I was just like, I hope that this helps you get to Seattle. Like, I really hope that this helps you. That's all I really said is like, I really hope that this helps you and gets you where you need to be.
Like, buddy.
And like,
I fucking know that you're fucking with me and you're going to go shoot it in your arm, but I'm hoping that you go to Seattle, you scum sucker.
I know.
I pulled out Jack Nicholson for him. And
not the golfer.
No, not Jack Nicholson, the golfer. Jack Nicklaus, the actor.
The actor.
So, and I've told that story about the most upsetting thing I ever saw was that lady outside of the Catholic Church.
What?
I think I told that story recently. So sorry for those of you that are avid listeners.
They're like, I can't.
Like, we've heard this story. Yeah, Blanca and I went to that wedding at St. Joseph's Catholic Church. And there was a woman out there
That's where I got married.
with her kids. Yeah. And she had a sign. It was begging. She was begging. But it was clear she was not a drug addict. This is a case of like a woman that was probably new to the country. She didn't speak English.
Okay.
Like, this is Catholic 101, right? Like, truly, like the Pope would say, this is who you're here to serve.
Yeah.
She's an immigrant with nothing who is losing her home, doesn't know what to do. She's begging because she has children. She's absolutely desperate and has no idea how they're going to survive, right? Catholic 101. You help them. Yep. We're looking at this lady and all these people walking into this church that are definitely consider themselves Catholic, walk right by her with sort of disdain, Then the priest comes out and like shouts at her with his finger
Oh
pointing,
yeah, yeah. You did tell.
humiliates her, and she's collecting
That's
her
so sad.
sign, and she's collecting her kids. And we had on us that day, and I'll tell the full story now. We had on us $100 bill for I don't know why. I have no idea why we had it, but we had it, and it was that we both looked at each other like,
Fuck
that's
it.
what we're gonna do with this $100 bill. Like,
Because who carries that much
like,
money?
yeah, like we had no reason to have it. I have no idea why we had it, but we had it. And here's this woman that so clearly needed it outside of a church. I was so irate. I was like, this is why I fucking hate churches.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing. It's not about helping these people.
It's about an image.
It's about, yeah, exactly. And like, oh, I was so mad. So we gave it to her, and Blanca, thank God, can speak Spanish. And I don't know if she really spoke Spanish, because I think Blanca and her had to like piecemeal
She was
language.
German.
But she just was in a Danke. Danke, hasta dann Hitler.
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo está?
Nein, nein.
Nein, you Mexican. So, yeah. She was the Gestapo. But,
That's crazy.
no, I mean, it's like we never second guessed that decision.
Well, I think there's times where like you. It's not like you. I don't know. There something tells you to do something.
Yeah.
You don't care what that person's going to do with the money.
Yeah. It's,
But you just know
it is, for lack of a better word, the Christian thing of like,
is.
like we said
It's
earlier.
just the right
it's-
thing to do.
My job is to give it to you. And what you do with it is up to you. But my job, my moral responsibility
Yeah.
is to give to you.
Yep.
And that's the thing that American Christianity does not value. Wealth accumulation is the value of American Christianity. And that's one thing that I really despise.
Yeah.
It's
like-
wrong. It's just plainly wrong.
Yeah. No. That's the shit. Like I don't know. I go off of. I don't think it's. I never look at things like this is the Christian thing to do or this is the
right.
the whatever thing to do. I always just like I gauge how it feels for me.
Yeah.
And if the energy for me, like I go off of energy, I
Yeah,
sound very
yeah.
hippie, but like
You're a hippie.
I
We
am.
all know. We can look at you and
I
see it.
feel, I can feel things.
You and your Jesus beard over there with
What are you feeling, bro?
oh, my cheese just a little off. today, bro.
feel a little more like yellow than blue today,
Whoa, you're getting a real like Hitler vibe, bro. I feel like you need to give some money.
You needed Mohammed vibes. You're
Yeah.
feeling a very dictator. You're feeling very Trump.
Yeah, go have a military parade, bro, because yuck. Yeah,
Go take a shower or something, man.
yeah.
But like, no, I'll go off of like, I don't know. I'll just sense something from someone.
There's
and I'm
moments
just
where you feel like
and
you
maybe
need to
it's
do
just like, okay, you know what? I feel like this is at this moment, this is the right thing to do
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
And it might not be maybe it's benefiting them in the wrong.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not looking at it that way. I'm like,
No, I hear you. Well, buying food for somebody's never benefiting them incorrectly. I
no.
don't
And
think
I
so.
was just like, it was just even if I give money, which I've done, it's
Yep.
just like this. Just for me, I can go home and I feel good.
Yeah,
I did something. If they used it for what I hope they used it for, I hope.
Right.
But if not, I can still go to sleep knowing I did the right thing.
Right.
The day I didn't do anything was the day I kind of felt like there was
You
something
knew
I
it.
missed. Like that person, there was something I should have done for that person. And to this day, it
you
still
kind of felt like you
bugs me,
abandoned
bro.
your destiny in a way. Like it was meant to happen and you ignored it. Kind
Yeah,
of.
like
Thing.
I even remember I remember having you ever brake check I tapped my brakes and I was like I need to go back, like something
You
made me
hesitated,
push it and
yeah.
I was just like nah, and I kept going and as I'm driving I'm like I should turn around as I'm driving straight and I'm like I'm already almost home.
Yeah.
And then I get home and I'm like telling Lacey that. And I think I want to say I went back later that night to see if that person, they weren't there. Like, and I was just like, okay. And I was like, fuck, man. Now I feel even extra more bad because
Yeah.
what if that was like, maybe that was God? Like, bro, you failed.
Yeah.
failed.
You could. Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
I was hoping you were going to give me $10.
Bro.
Just to see.
I asked for a
You-
sandwich and you walked away.
You ate it in front of me.
Yeah. God.
Like those AI videos. Hey, I'm here. I'm about to see what this guy Goliath's all about.
Yeah. Have you watched Tim Robinson? He's a comedian. Mm-hmm. He does he does like very awkward scenarios. He has that show on Netflix. I can't think of the name of it now, but it's like all these scenarios where he's just very awkward.
Yeah.
And there's one about paying it forward. And he goes through the drive-thru and he's like, "Hey, let me get the guy behind me." And they go, "Really? That's so nice." He goes, "Hey, who knows? Maybe he'll pay it forward." And he gets his food and he speeds as fast as he can around the building. He's like, "Get out of my way! I'm trying to do something!" And he gets back in line behind the guy behind him. Oh. So he goes up and she goes, "What can I get for you, sir?" And he's like, "I want 55 hot dogs, 55 hamburgers, 55 cheeseburgers, 55 french fries, 55 tacos, 55 pizzas, 55. And he's going through this whole list of stuff, thinking this guy's going to pay it forward for him. So the whole thing, he did it so that he could get the guy to buy the shit for him.
It didn't work.
And he wanted everything. That guy is so freaking funny.
I've never seen that.
Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
God. I probably should have just pulled it up and played it for everybody,
Dude.
but it's so funny.
So the movie I watched, and I actually watched the second one, not the first one. I watched Accounting 2 last night.
Yeah, what did you think?
I liked it.
Did you? Blanc and I didn't.
I didn't hate it, but I can. But I started watching the first one right afterwards.
Okay.
And he's the same.
Okay.
Like the first one, his acting's not as good, I think.
And the first one?
In the first one, I think he's the reason. I think he might have upped it a little bit with the autism in the second one, but in the first one, he's still pretty autistic.
Maybe we need to watch the first one again. I just remember we walked into the first one liking it, and we walked out of the second one being like, "What?"
Yeah, he was pretty autistic in the first one. I'm not gonna lie. They even go flashbacks of him as a kid, like freaking out, and he's throwing shit. And
Maybe we were like not paying attention.
He fucking broke holes in the wall because he's like freaking out because of the noise, and you'll see him like training himself to like handle loud noises. Right? He's like hurt. He's hurt. He's like rubbing like this like stick on his like shin as he's waiting 20 minutes to go, and then he blows his little fingies and to eat his food. And then his brother's actually in the first one. I didn't know fucking his brother in the second one's in the first one.
He is.
He's in it.
Good Lord. Maybe
John Berthenol's in both.
We're going to need to watch the first one and the second one, I guess. I felt like it went way on this tangent in the second one, but maybe it was all in there in the first one.
I fell asleep because it was already like 1:30 in the morning when I started watching the first one.
You were enthralled, clearly.
But the second, as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, okay.
Huh.
He would like, I just started seeing things. I was like, she was in that Medina, the cop chick from the second one.
Okay.
She's in the first one too.
Huh. I don't remember any of that.
Neither did I.
Wow.
I'm like, did I even watch the first one? I told Nick, I go, I guess.
All I remember is the cool 50 caliber gun he was practicing shooting. That's really all I remember.
Does. And he goes, he's fucking lights out with it.
I just didn't remember there being that much connection to some like secret organization stuff.
They bring that up
in the first one.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch!
All that shit's in there.
I missed it! Yeah, okay.
All of it. So I gotta watch the first. I'm gonna probably watch it tonight. Although I gotta work tomorrow.
Hey,
part of me really wants to call
what?
bro. You don't.
I don't have to.
You.
I'll go golfing with you if you quit. Not quit. Not
Jesus.
quit. Not quit. You quit your job, I'll go golf with you.
Not even call in if you fucking
call
quit.
in. Yeah.
Hey, Tom, I called in. Nah, bro.
No, I said if
quit.
you quit.
You
do
bitch.
or die now, brother. You with me or against me, motherfucker?
You bitch. Anyway.
Well, fathers, I hope you had a great day.
Me too. I hope all you fathers have a great day.
All you teachers, enjoy that summertime. This is what we work for. Those few weeks where we don't have to work.
I still got to work.
And to all the kids and all the parents out there, thanks for a good year.
I really don't want to get up at 4 this morning.
I don't.
4 this morning. 4 in the morning.
It's kind of like this morning. If you start the day today, it is this morning. That's early. It is.
Luckily, not luckily. one of our liaisons. He's out for a while, so I'm kind of covering.
Okay.
So it gives me something to do.
That's good. You won't be bored.
I won't be bored, but I'm also like, I'm a fast worker. I'm so good at my job. I'm so good at jobs, bro. Anyway, you guys have a good fucking day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Happy summer.
Nah,
happy.
If you're a
everything.
deadbeat dad, fuck you. You're not a good dad.
Yeah,
so.
you
No
can turn,
happy Father's Day.
you can
to
turn it
you.
around anytime you want. You can call your kid right now.
You
No
can.
one's stopping you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Return with that milk.
Yeah.